What do I think about us celebrating 10 years? Should I do a cinematic walk-in?
Sure.
To make this a documentary?
How do I put into words my time at Oxenfree? I'm so nervous.
Hope you know this.
Okay, recording.
I knew I was gonna cry, but I didn't think it'd be this early.
Yeah, this is the part I've been nervous about.
No, further up.
I'm wondering if I can recall some of the stuff, because that would probably be pretty valuable.
Oh, that was 10 years ago now.
The past couple days I've been like trying to rack my brain and be like, we did a lot of shit, but like, what did we do?
Oh gosh. Everything was just, like some of them are so, they're so silly.
I'm trying not to say that someone f***ed it up and who it was, but.
We did it.
Oh, man.
All right, so let me think here.
25, 24. Did I start in 23?
Sorry, say it to me one more time. The question was, why did I like working with Oxenfree? What if I was just like, I f***ing hated it?
Let's freaking slate this freaking thing. Danny might not f shit up. Take one.
Here's a slate that says mostly Ben Gill.
Is that good? I can't tell. Oxenfree testimonials. Take one.
Let's get this going.
Should I talk about the founding of Oxenfree?
Yeah.
I actually got into this industry through video games and competitive gaming. I used to make these highlight films or like montages of the games we were playing and learned editing and motion graphics to like make those films better. I kind of just like dove in full force and I was just watching tutorials, making weird stuff all the time. And then I realized that I could go to film school for this. Applying to film school, I had the weirdest portfolio of like title sequences, logo activations, visual effects of people getting hit by cars and heads getting cut off. And so yeah, it took me 3 tries to get into the film program at UCF, and it's a portfolio submission. So it's not just them denying you on your resume, it's like they're denying you for your art. They're like, your art isn't good enough. And as someone that has continued to put my identity in the art, it is like very much like, you're not good enough. Your art isn't good enough. Have fun doing cinema studies and learning French New Wave cinema. Like that's all you're gonna ever do. And so I just didn't wait for them to teach me anything. Like I don't need you, I'll just teach myself. And so I was working on all these sets and editing everything under the sun. Like every semester I was editing 3 to 5 films. So it wasn't until I finally did get into the program that I realized that directing was even a skill set that I had. And so in the program I made 2 dumb shorts, Babies and Burp. Collectively, those screened at 30 festivals, including the British Film Institute, and Burp played at the Regal Winter Park here in Orlando as part of Florida Film Festival. So even at that time, I don't think I was thinking, oh, this is like my craft, or this is something I'm gonna do for a career. And I started to get opportunities to apply what I was learning for money, right? And I started to need to figure out what I wanted to do next. Danny was graduating at the same time. And I think we just started to see an opportunity. I think it was Danny's idea. Somebody had the idea that we should just combine forces and make this a real thing.
Do I go into the whole? Okay.
As detailed as you can remember.
Oxenfree as a name really began even before we decided it was a company in its own thing. I just remember us writing down a whiteboard and having our Steve Jobs in the garage moment and writing down all these different names and somehow landed on Oxenfree.
Oxenfree comes from Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, which is a Dutch phrase that you say in hide and go seek. That means all those that are hidden are set free, which is just a beautiful poetic thing. Like, oh, all of your ideas are set free, all of your dreams are set free, your story is set free. Like, definitely didn't want to be Ben Gill Films or anything like that. It felt very limiting, and we stumbled onto this word Oxenfree. And then we put design at the end of it, of like stability and structure and precision.
Design just felt right for the stage we were in, and the intentionality of design behind everything we did too. We settled on that, and I drew our first logo on an iPad. We cleaned it up a little bit, but it was essentially just kind of what I drew. And I guess from that moment, I became a co-founder. And then me coming in a year or so later was really like, okay, now let's make this an actual thing.
Danny and I saw an opportunity to combine our forces, her from a marketing PR background and me from this film background, and made Oxenfree, and always trying to bring like a cinematic sensibility to the projects we were making and trying to elevate them as much as possible and bring this high-level cinema feature film methodology and bring it down to like the small corporate video and design them for attention and reward them for attention by showing them something that they actually wanted to watch.
Branding and experience, that was always at the forefront. That was a lot of the conversations we had at the beginning. We branded everything, not only pitch decks, our statement of work, our contracts, email signatures probably, like everything. In a way, it made us feel like we were dressed up for the job we wanted. We wanted it to feel like an entity and a team, even from the beginning when it was just Ben and I.
How do we communicate value? How do we communicate it early? How do we communicate it often? And really it's like, let me show you that we care too much. So yeah, a lot of our early pitch decks were like, we did the full thing. We could have shot it the next day. That was our methodology. Like, oh, let's just brand things to the nines and make every touch point really beautiful and elevated and unexpected. At the market we were competing with, everyone else wasn't doing that.
A lot of that early days was just like, we just wanted anyone who wanted to give us any money or didn't, or just even wanted to take a chance on us. We wanted to test out concepts and directing, and we just wanted to do work. We weren't picky in the beginning for sure.
I had one other friend that was starting a company at the same time. When Danny and I wanted to move out of our guest room and have a standalone office, we knew he had a co-working space in the Angevelt building on the 9th floor.
In comes Christian Harris of Aqueous Films.
My name's Christian Harris, and I'm the resident funkle of Oxenfree. I feel like I've been on the sidecar of the Oxenfree vehicle for like the 10 years. I've been there since the beginning, and I've been in every office. I've been there for the struggles and the triumphs and all that stuff. The first time I ever saw Ben and Danny in an office, an Oxenfree office, I was sitting at CoLab, and Ben and Danny walked in and kind of looked around the co-working space for about 10 seconds and were like, hey, would you want to get an office instead?
And once we'd seen the offices, we realized like, oh, if Christian was willing to split this with us, it'd be the same cost that he's paying now. And that started a trend of Oxenfree and Aqueous Films splitting a lot of things so that we could afford things that we otherwise wouldn't have at that time.
We rented out like this closet of an office in the Angevelt building in downtown. We, had one window that was about this wide, and the window view was not great either. I think it directly faced another interior side wall of the building. But it felt like once we got an office, it felt really real to me. We kind of created our own little incubator. It was just like, we're all learning all these things like very rapidly and trying to make it look like we know how to run a business.
It was like, wow, this is our office. We have our own office. It was not a nice office. That was really the beginning, I think, of Oxenfree becoming more than just like an idea. It's crazy to think back 10 years ago to see Ben and Danny saying, I want these things, and now to see 10 years later, that's what Oxenfree does.
It was just me and Danny doing everything. We worked really well together, but it was also really stressful. We did not make a lot of money. We got engaged shortly after starting Oxenfree together, and we're splitting every payment into fifths. 20% went to the wedding, 20% went towards gear, and only 20% of that went to us. And we're two people.
Being in business with your partner is different for everyone. The working together for us was really easy. And we both, hustled together, and we had similar tastes and similar compasses. There was no off switch. And I feel like I understood that I needed more independence and that I could show up as a better person in life and in this relationship and all the things if I had a bit more of a space for myself in the world.
The stressors were starting to affect our personal relationship, or threatening to. We just kind of pumped the brakes on that because we saw our personal relationship as more important than our working relationship, even though we worked so well together.
But even then, I didn't know if the door was closed forever. It still very much felt like I was a part of it, but it just wasn't my day-to-day anymore, and we could have that space to have our own pockets of the universe.
Danny moved on to do her own thing, and it was me by myself, solopreneuring, doing everything. Sometimes I look back and I don't really understand how I was able to do so many things. I almost feel like I couldn't go back and do those same things now or take those things back on. We don't want to just create work, we want to create the best work, and we want to create the best work every time we touch a project, and that's a really hard ambition to keep up. I know what I'm capable of by myself, but that wasn't interesting to me. I wanted a rock star team that was capable of creating the best work.
I think you're in love.
We're a part of your community.
Are you gonna fail?
There's no compromise.
It just gave me a voice.
We want to be best in class Liftoff. We have a liftoff.